when I talk to young people who are thinking about their careers, I tell them to solve for three things. One is to work with people that they really like, because why waste time? If you don't like the teams that you're working with, why do it? The second is to go to a company where you can make a difference. And the third is to go to a company that's making a difference. Because why make a difference at a company that's not really making a difference? I didn't have the luxury of figuring out the first, but it's been a pleasant surprise in that the people at Uber are unambiguously great. They're passionate about the company, about our cause, about providing affordable transportation to everyone everywhere. So that one I got lucky on. But the second and the third, which is the ability to make a difference at a company that's making a difference in everyday lives and is going to be definitive in where mobility and transportation is headed over the next 5 to 10 years on a worldwide basis, that's an exceptional opportunity. So I was at a great place with Expedia. I've been CEO for 13 years. It had been a great ride and a terrific success, and I wasn't looking to move. But once in a while, when you get a shot, while it can seem risky, and this one in some ways seemed chaotic, being played out in the public realm, you take a shot, and I did, and I haven't looked back for a second. I guess I take exception to that characterization. Sure. First of all, sure. I think that the press likes drama, and because drama sells, right? Sure. And I think Uber made a lot of mistakes, and to some extent, the extraordinary success and growth of the company maybe masked some decisions, some ways of doing business that in hindsight were wrong. But I think the company was doing a lot right. But it definitely needed to shift how it operated, how it made decisions, how it modulated decisions that affected growth versus doing the right thing, growth versus dialogue, growth versus partnership. And I think that my coming in there has allowed the company to have those discussions openly, and for the company to shift a bit so that we think twice before we act. We don't think 10 times, but we do think twice before we act. And I'd say in general, we're more respectful of our environment and the cities that we operate in and the regulatory bodies. And I think that's going to make for a better long-term solution. One of the most important steps that we took internally is the introduction of a new set of norms and cultures. And what was interesting about those norms was we actually went and asked our employees how they thought about the company, what kind of company they wanted Uber to be. And to some extent, we crowdsourced the norms coming up, and we called them norms instead of values because norms are actually about behavior. And some of the norms that we now have as headlines are, we build globally and we live locally, but we've got to be respectful for the places in which we do business. We do the right thing, period. We value ideas over hierarchy, etc. Defining what kind of company that we want to be has been incredibly important. And now we're in the process of building a team around those beliefs. And I think that we do have a team that has diversity within it, but I do think that we can, in general, do better with diversity at leadership positions. I'll tell you that I've been very pleasantly surprised with the state of the operations of the business. Despite the distraction that you saw in the press, despite the distraction of the CEO search, etc., the operators in this business, the folks on the ground, have been focused on building a great product. On the governance side, we brought in SoftBank as an investor, which I think is a great vote of confidence. We introduced governance reforms so that we look much more like a mature company, and we are positioning ourselves effectively for an IPO. We settled a very big case with Alphabet Waymo, which we think is a win-win. Travis is a very important board member, and I'm actually lucky to have the three founders of the company, all of them on my board. Travis, Ryan, and Garrett. And they are, I'd say, more valuable than the average board member. Every board member is valuable, but they bring for me an insight about the company and its history and the teams and the people and all the on-the-ground stuff that you can't anticipate that is extremely valuable. So Travis and the other founders have been sounding boards for me, have been, I think, first-rate board members. And they told me that they will give me their time and their advice whenever I need it. And so far, they've always been there for me. As far as the future of the transportation industry, I think there are a couple of elements there. One is that I think that transportation, especially auto transportation, has to move more towards shared. Urban centers are going to get more and more crowded, and you're going to get more cars on the road, and using data to match people who are headed from a destination to another destination, I think is very important in relieving congestion. I think electric vehicles are a very important development in order to help with pollution, et cetera. So I think you need shared, you need electric. I think autonomous is going to be a very important technology coming up, both in terms of cost and, just as importantly, safety. Remember that an autonomous driver always gets better. An autonomous driver, after the first training, never needs to get a permit. This is a technology, this is a driver that will continually improve forever, fed by the power of computers and silicon that grows at exponential rates. And fourth is, I do think that all of the different transportation means that we have now, public transport, private transport, shared transport, they have to be strung together through the magic of data more effectively, creating an end-to-end experience that is incredibly smooth and delightful, a single payment, and perfect information as to how a consumer can get from A to B most efficiently, both in terms of time and cost.